is Charles Harris, here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, welcome everybody to another FTP Friday. This one is Johnny Depp approved. He won his case. He got the big money because Amber Heard left that big pile of shit on his bed. Just look at it. That being said, welcome in everybody. It's Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. I have a few guests that are running a few minutes late. I'm waiting for Coach Mike Jones of Detroit Lions on the prowl, waiting for Dom DeRubis to pop in, Dan Leonard and Logan Erickson, both of We Are Lions Nation. Right now, I got the Roar with Jake Dilling on with me.
How's it going, guys?
But you know, time waits for no man. And it's time to get the show started. So let's go into our first topic. Ben Johnson is aiming for Goff to have his best season yet. Yay or nay? I want to give a little bit of the background into that. He said he started to implement some of the plays that were his most successful plays of 2018, which was Jared Goff's best season, with the weapons they have added. And whether or not Jameson Williams is healthy week one, because we still got Josh Reynolds and DJ Shark as deep threats. So that being said, we have the Brandon Cooks types on the roster to couple with the route running sure-handedness of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Cephas, who's looking good in OTAs as well. So he's back healthy. I see no reason why he can't, and I'm not going to say he will because I want him to prove it to me. But that being said, what do you think, Jake?
It all depends on the run game. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, because that was what was big with him is he had Todd Gurley and C.J. Anderson getting, what was it, 100 to 150 yards a game?
Pretty close. They're pretty good. But
I'm talking the two of them combined always eclipsed 100 yards is what I was saying. The two of them combined every game. Eclipsed 100 yards, except for the one game mid-season when Gurley tweaked his knee a little bit and had to miss a half. But other than that, I mean, that was still 97 yards. They won the game. That was also the year that he torched. I mean, absolutely torched the Chiefs' defense.
Oh, yeah.
In that Monday Night Football game that went back and forth.
Goff's got it in him. You know, and they just got to get that run game going. And I think with the 1-2 punch of Swift and Williams, I think they can. I know none of them are prime Gurley, but you know, if he can work off that run game. In 2018, he had a passer rating of 101 off of play action, and I believe I might be a little off in my numbers. He had around 25 touchdowns off of play action.
Yep.
Touchdown passes, and he only had 32 that year.
Okay, now let's. Facebook user hops in, says, "Love the energy, Jeremy Ballrick. One pride." Facebook user also says, "We need a healthy Swift. Swift, we need you." Well said.
Hey, I'm gonna talk about Swift in my next show, but a little bit. Deuce Staley's right. He has to play through some injuries.
Yes.
You know, are you hurt or are you injured? There's a difference.
If you're hurt, you can still play. If you're injured, you sit out. Absolutely.
Exactly. So
thank you for that Monday night. Goff went off that night. Absolutely. This sounds like it's Greg Rice, if I'm not mistaken. Just the way he's talking, I think it's Greg Rice.
Yeah. I know from what I've been reading, Goff has been looking really confident in OTAs. A lot better than last year, which is huge.
Facebook user confirmed. I'm right. I try to read into who's saying what because I like to know who's here. I'm hoping Dan and Logan show up. Come on, Logan. You were active a while ago. You saw the link. Come on. I am going to be shouting out to them later. I'm going to call them slackers.
I got faith in Goff. I'm a believer in Goff. A lot of it
I'm a pseudo believer because he has degraded each year. Last year was a bad year, but you have to remember he had somebody calling for him that did not want him to start the season. If you don't want the guy, you're not going to call plays to his strengths. How often did we do play action in the first 9 games?
Oh,
I think it was less than 10%.
Yeah, I mean that's Goff. That's where Goff plays the best is when he can play off of play action. I mean, I know the first half of the season he didn't really have many targets. I mean, T.J. Hockenson caught 64 of his 80, or had 64 targets through the first, before up into the bye week, and he only had 81 or 82 on the year. I know he missed some time because he finished on IR again, but that's another story.
Yep. I mean,
but it's just and once they got in Reynolds and they got St. Brown worked into it, getting Reynolds really helped Jared Goff a lot, a whole lot.
It did, but it also the play calling switch happened 2 weeks before he played again.
Yeah.
So the improvement was already starting, is what I'm getting at. And then adding him, the dink and dunk stuff. The reason why he went to the dink and dunk stuff is because unless it's play action with somebody in the streak who got open and had separation, Goff does not throw the ball deep because he has to have a receiver with separation, which means if you do the play action correctly, the cornerbacks bite and look towards the running back instead of the quarterback. Yep. Because he's acting like he's got the ball going through the line. Oh, is he going to bust through? Is he going to pass the linebackers? And then when you don't pay attention, you got a speedy guy like Cooks.
Shark.
Boom.
Williams. I mean,
watching
Williams
I'll be happy if Williams is back in by week 4.
They're talking he may start the season on the physically unable to perform list. So if that's the case, then he's probably out at least 6 weeks. And he's not, and he won't be able to practice until October.
Well, there's like 4 different types of PUP lists. There's the physically unable to play for that game. There's the physically unable to play for 3 weeks, and then the physically unable to play for 6 weeks. And then there's the IRs. So there's different PUP lists. Remember, because we've had guys that were on the PUP list all during practice, but then played that week because they were on the 1 week.
Right. That's true.
Hi, Smokin. Jeremy. Is the Atlanta DT we got, can he make the D-line better? I'm going to address that in a minute because I did some more research into him. And plus, I watched a couple other fellow podcasters who are really good at deep diving into college stats when somebody's in a limited rotational spot. And I'm going to get into that here in a minute. It's actually one of my topics.
Yep. Talk about him, too.
Yep. And what I looked at into his college stats and D2, and I don't care if it's D2 because that means the level of competition is the same as where you're at.
Yes, buddy.
It makes a big difference on what your stats are.
Oh yeah, he was the first player drafted out of Charleston since 1945.
Right. Right. Yeah,
so,
but
that says something about him. Well, we'll talk about him later.
Yeah, we'll be talking about him real soon. Let's put it that way. We'll be coming at you real soon. That being said, I think Goff can do it. Will he do it is another question. Because Is what McVay did to him after 2018 with changing the play calling, did it really mess with his head that much that his confidence is shaken? I don't think it is, because of what we saw at the end of the season. His confidence was coming back.
He lost everybody too. People forget, like, he lost Gurley. They lost that run game. They lost Brandon Cooks. They lost a lot of receivers that after that 2018 run.
Right.
And that makes it different.
In 2019, you replaced Brandon Cooks off the rookie out of the draft with Cooper Kupp, who ran a 4.65 versus a 4.36.
Yeah. And, Kupp, he's one of the best receivers in the league right now. He wasn't then.
Dana Cottrell says, I'm thinking the biggest question on defense is Okudah. He may be in good shape physically, but his mentality, on the other hand, is questionable at best. I'm going to tell you that the coaches have came out and said they love his mental aspect right now. I've heard nothing but glowing things from Aaron Glenn, Aubrey Pleasant, and Dan Campbell about Okudah during this whole workout process. I don't think he has a mental problem at all. No, I think the biggest problem he had was playing 10 games for a coaching staff with Petrasha that couldn't develop a Polaroid picture, let alone a player.
Not to mention, his rookie season, you might as well just chalk that up. Like it didn't even happen.
Just say it was another year of college.
It was another year. Yeah. I mean, because not only, he got hurt that year too. But when you look at it, how many times did Patricia just leave him out on an island against guys like Devontae Adams?
Against Devontae Adams, against Justin Jefferson his rookie year, against all these great guys. And
Adam
and Jefferson, he switched them off on him. And every time he switched them off, Kirk Cousins would target him because it's not that he wasn't fast enough, he didn't know enough. There's a big difference between being what is it that there's a word I'm looking for. Being ignorant and being stupid, and he was ignorant because he wasn't coached.
Yeah, he wasn't coached properly. Now, I think with Aaron Glenn, yes, Aaron Glenn's defensive coordinator, and he has to worry about the entire defense, but he's going to help those defensive backs develop. That's where he made his money in the league, and that's where he's going to continue to make his money.
Who was he mentoring in the offseason last year? Jerry Jacobs and Ife Melifonwu.
Yep.
And look how good they did last year when they played.
Yeah, they watch out for Jerry Jacobs.
And Ife Melifonwu taking snaps at safety, be on the lookout that Deshaun Elliott may be put on notice as a backup, because if he's doing good, he'll be the starter. He's 6'3". He runs a 4.4-ish 40, which means he's tall, he's fast, he has a great vertical like his brother that went into the league a couple of years before. The difference is he's smarter than his brother is.
Yeah.
Obi Melifonwu is nothing like Ife Melifonwu.
No.
There's a reason why he went to a Pac-12 school and Ife went to an ACC school. I'm just saying. Oh, Detroit Dom has hopped in. What's up, Dom?
All right. How's it going, Dom?
Good.
Hey, you're late, man.
Sorry.
He's in slacker mode. It's okay. It's Friday. And it is an FTP Friday, and I have to say, I know why Johnny Depp got so much money in his hearing. I showed the picture. Amber Heard left this big pile of shit on his bed. Look at that. I would get money if it happened to me.
That was their Yorkies, okay?
Yeah, trying to blame it on the Yorkies. That's 100% her, that whore.
You know what the funny thing about that whole scenario is?
What's that?
So he got awarded $15 million in the defamation suit. It got lowered to like 12 point something
because she got $2 million and some.
The cap for those rulings in a state minus taxes, but she won $7 million from him in the divorce settlement. She was like, "Oh, I donated all of it." No, she pledged it, and of that $7 million, she's put in $200,000. So basically, he's getting his own money back. But anyways, where are we at?
Okay, I had just talked about Ben Johnson said he's aiming for Goff to have his best year yet, And I mentioned the reason why he's saying that is he's implementing some of those plays that made him successful in 2018 to the current offense. With our receivers and the way it looks, if the running game is working and they start using the play action more, which is Goff's strength, I can see how it could happen. Do I expect it to happen? I'm a will see type of guy.
I mean, I don't. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Another thing that you got to keep in mind.
I would like to see, and I can't imagine how. And me and Jeremy have talked about this and mentioned it 1,000 times.
Somewhere between 25 and 30 touchdowns and in between 10 and 15 interceptions. That's what I see.
But going back to before that, Jared Goff did everything we asked of him.
Yep.
2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
Improve his completion percentage.
Yeah, highest of his career.
Yep.
Cut down on his fumbles, although he still led the league.
No, he did not lead the league. That's bullshit. No, Lamar Jackson led the league with 13 fumbles lost.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely sure Lamar Jackson had 13 fumbles last year. Oh, Keegan Eckerd, nice to see you, buddy. I didn't realize who that was. I just got home from work. How about it, boys?
I mean, if so, even better.
Lamar Jackson was the most fumbled quarterback last year. Second was Danny Dimes. Third was Goff, but it was 9 fumbles total with only 4 lost.
Oh.
Still need to hold on to that damn ball, though.
Maybe that's what I saw.
But yeah, here's the thing. If you look at when the play calling changed, he had 8 fumbles in the first 9 weeks.
Right.
With all 4 fumbles lost. He had 1 fumble in the last 6 weeks he played, and none lost.
I mean, he's statistically and also not that far off on 1 loss. Jared Goff was a top 5 quarterback after week 12?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Another thing we got to keep in mind, like people are kind of not thinking about, is we're pretty much implementing an entire new offense.
Yep, they are.
You got to take that into account too. Everyone just thinks, it's going to be all hunky dory right off the bat because Ben Johnson took over mid-season and Dan Campbell.
No, he's implementing new plays.
Now they're putting in, Johnson's offense.
Right.
And he's changing it, his verbiage and stuff like that. And that's going to take a little bit of time.
Okay, Facebook user
we'll be fine.
Facebook user asks, LB from Purdue, can he play middle linebacker? Barnes. He actually did play middle linebacker. He just wasn't great last year because it was a rookie season. Any rookie takes time to develop. By playing in the whole offseason this year at that position and being healthy, I could see him being better.
I'm hoping he can make that year 1, year 2 jump they keep talking about.
Wait, who is this? Shame me for not knowing or remembering, but who's this guy? Who's our third guy?
For what? That's Jake Dilling from the Roar. That was on Wednesday night with us.
Okay, all right.
Yep. Drake and I tried a podcast 2 seasons ago, and it just didn't work out. But that's neither here nor there.
It's not. Let me tell you this, Jake. Worry not about Ben Johnson's offense, because I promise you, and I haven't read anything, not even a word, to back my claim, but I promise you that is a collaboration between what Dan Campbell knows will work and Ben Johnson's ideas that Dan Campbell thinks will work.
Yeah, because he did say in the beginning, Campbell would still be calling the plays, and Ben Johnson will be the offensive coordinator, but doing more of the passing game coordinator to begin with, and he'll work him into the play caller.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the offense is going to do good. I think they'll be much improved from last year.
It can only get better. The only thing I worry about is the fumbles.
Yeah, that one, got to correct that.
Well, you got to remember, we started the season with only 60% of a starting O-line.
That's true.
And Penei Sewell was playing at left tackle when he improved when he switched to right tackle, and everybody was up in arms about it. And I said, that's what we drafted him for.
Yeah. Decker is the left tackle. He's
Because
not going to move to right tackle.
It's all he's ever played from high school through college to pro.
And
he's never played right tackle.
We saw 0 snaps from our projected O-line.
Right.
So there's absolutely no reason to think it won't get better.
It's got to. Can't get any worse.
And like I said,
second year in the offense.
If the team is healthy, my floor is 7 wins. If it goes off the rails with the health train, the floor is 6. I've said that all along.
Jeremy, let me ask you this. What is the worst case, assuming like majority of health for the O-line? What's the worst case for where we rank at the end of the year for our O-line? 7 or 8?
It depends on what metric you looked at. We were rated as high as 6th and as low as 13th. PFF had us in the top 10.
I haven't
going
seen
into the season.
Had us outside of the top 7.
Yeah, and now this season, going in, we haven't been ranked lower than 10.
I've seen us ranked as high as 3.
Yep, 3 was by CBS Sports.
Yep.
3 was also by PFF. 8 by ESPN, and I think NFL Network had us 7.
Yeah, they're definitely going in the right direction.
And yes, and this is why so many like national sports writers are on the Lions bandwagon, because when does a team that, you know, on paper record-wise look this bad, like,
look at this,
don't have this sort of a line.
Here we go. Let's welcome in Logan Erickson of We Are Lions Nation, also known as the Stat Man.
How's it going, everybody?
I'm still waiting for Dan Leonard to hop in. Mike Jones is running behind as well. I think something came up with him, maybe a phone call or got called into work. Either way, I'm happy to have you guys here. The first question, everybody's gave an answer. Ben Johnson, I'm going to have to mute you for a minute, Jake. And there we go. Ben Johnson is aiming for Goff to have his best year by implementing a few of the Rams plays to this offense. And namely, it's the play we wanted to see all last season that we hardly saw. 10% of the snaps. Play action. That's Goff's biggest strength in his career. He completes 72% of his play action passes.
Goff?
Yeah, Goff.
Goff is statistically the best play action passer in the NFL.
Yep.
Logan.
Yeah, Logan's here.
What's up, Dom?
Good to see you. And you got a haircut.
You, man.
Yeah, and he trimmed the beard. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Welcome back to the 90s, brother. What you gonna do?
It's my Lions mane.
There we go. All right. Keegan Edgar says, what do you think about 11-7, second in our division, but not enough to make the playoffs? If we go 11-7 and not make the playoffs, somebody is getting fired at the NFL Network.
Oh, they better.
If 11, how does 11 not make the playoffs?
11 will make the playoffs.
How does 10 not make the playoffs?
And with 7 playoff spots, how does 9 not make the playoffs? Hey, wait a minute.
9,
we had an 8-win team make the playoffs last year.
I was going to say, how does 9, like, other than having 0 of the tiebreakers, how does 9 not make the playoffs?
That's exactly it. Is you'd have to have 0 of the tiebreakers, and one of those tiebreakers have 9 wins with you.
I mean, the West is going to show out. 9 doesn't make it if the Cowboys and the Eagles both get 10. That's how.
Yep. Well, I did in my East preview. And let's see. Who are your veteran cuts? I think it's Penasini and Bryant. I would actually go a different direction because Penasini's been healthy and he's contributed. he's contributed when he's played at the DT2, and we're doing more 4-man fronts now this season, which means he has a valid option in this defense. The guys that I think are on the bubble, and that's just due to injury, Nick Williams, Austin Bryant, and Jayshon Cornell.
Yeah.
Those are the three that I see possibly being cut. Because other than that, I don't know who else it would. Penasini he has another year, and there's a little bit of dead cap involved with him being cut. Jayshon Cornell was picked behind him. He wasn't, because Cornell was the last pick of that draft that year in 2019, if I remember right.
Don't shoot me. None of you shoot me.
Okay.
Quintez Cephas.
I don't think Quintez Cephas will be cut because he's still on his rookie contract.
You got to remember, they didn't draft him.
No.
If Williams starts the season hold on. If Williams starts the season healthy, if Chark plays well, then you got Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 3. He's steadily getting put, and then you got Reynolds at the 4 spot. He's steadily getting pushed down. Once you start to get to that 5th and 6th receiver, you have to be able to show out on special teams, and that's something Quintez hasn't done. He's never played special teams.
But Quintez Cephas, that wasn't Logan, that was Jake.
Oh, Jake. Yeah,
but I mean, the thing is that you have to look at what Cephas was doing when nobody else was before he got hurt.
I mean, I agree with you 100%, Jeremy.
I understand that.
The reason why I won't answer your question above John Robinson, I don't know a single one of them damn players. I looked at it and goes, I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying the alleged rationale for cutting Cephas was he doesn't contribute on special teams.
Yeah, that's true. But at the time, he was our only number 1 wide receiver. He did not have a drop.
That's true.
Oh, I mean, I understand.
Being Khalif Raymond, but we don't need Raymond because there's 2 or 3 other guys that can replace him. Like, we don't need Khalif Raymond to catch 50 passes.
A month before the whole offseason started, Dave Phipp wanted Jamison Williams in the first round because of his return ability.
Yeah, he can return kicks. I wouldn't put him back there to return kicks just because I think he's going to be special. And I don't want him to get hurt. But
yeah, no. Much like, I don't want to see any of my best 3 wide receivers or a starting corner or a 1 or 2 running back returning kicks because no. I also don't want to see starting defensive players on kick or punt coverage.
Well, here's the thing. We got a lot of depth, and that's our next topic that we're going into. What position battles intrigue you the most for this preseason? Dom, you go ahead and start.
Well, we just talked about it. I would say 3, 4, and 5 receivers. Also, not quarterback.
Yeah, that's not a position battle.
Potentially like the battle for the number 2 tight end. Wide receivers 3, 4, and 5. Literally everything on the D line and the linebackers, pretty much everywhere other than quarterback and running back.
Running back, I like the battle for 3 and 4. If they carry 4 running backs this year.
Did you guys see that Deuce Staley is basically talking shit to DeAndre Swift, like, don't be a pussy?
Yep.
Yeah.
He said there's a big difference between playing hurt and playing injured.
I'm on Staley's side here.
So am I. This is Swift's prove it year. It's the last year. He has to either stay healthy, man up, or he's going to be shipped out and the next one comes in. And I still think they should do it anyways because it's going to be cheaper to draft the next one.
Just think we could have drafted Kenneth Walker.
Not really. How? He went in the 30s. We didn't have a pick till 46.
No. Kenneth Walker didn't go till like the 3rd round.
No, yeah, he went in the 2nd round to Seattle.
Did he?
Yeah, before we even picked.
Oh, you're right. They didn't need him. What do they do? Well, their defense isn't good enough. Like, they want to run the ball because they don't have a quarterback. But like,
That's
they
why
already
they
have,
picked him.
like, Chris Carson's coming back.
But he never stays healthy.
Rashad Penny ripped us a new cornhole last year.
When you
got Kenneth Walker.
When you got Alex Anales driving at his ankles trying to tackle him, of course he's going to run all over us.
Don't get me started
Rashad
on that.
Penny ran over everyone last year towards the end of the year.
I mean, Fabio needs to go away.
Hey, he had his best season as a pro.
How about this? What if we're in a playoff push and Swift is hurt? Like, would you trade a 4th-round pick for Rashad Penny?
Depends on how our other running backs are performing, I think.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing.
Now,
I like our backups.
Now I need to go. We need to move on. I need to get Logan's what he thinks the best position battles to watch are.
I think the best position battles, honestly, is the defensive back position. I think every spot is up for grabs. With Akuda being hurt, I think the only person that solidified a spot is Arwarie and Tracy Walker. The other safety position is open, and the other starting corner position is open.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Awarie's my boy, man. I called it when they traded Slay, and everyone was worried about how we're going to replace him, and Jeremy remembers this. I said, he's on the roster.
Yeah,
Slay's
we both said
already on the roster.
Me and
him both my favorite player.
I agreed with you.
Yeah.
What, Oruwariye?
Yep.
Yeah, he's my favorite player on the Lions.
Oh, steal of that draft.
Yep, 5th-round pick, should have been a 1st-rounder, but because of some sexual allegations, all of a sudden crept up out of Penn State. That was from 2 years before and already been discharged from.
Well, I got something. Saquon Barkley called it when we drafted him. Said he was the best pick of the draft.
Yep, he sure did. That being said, Jake, what are your position battles?
I like running back, the 3rd and 4th running back spot. Tight end number 2. And I got to go with that corner, that defensive backs, like what Luke was saying.
Okay. Mine is linebackers and safeties. I think the cornerback room is fine because we've seen people step in and take the 2 and do well with Iffy, A.J. Parker, Jerry Jacobs. They all played the 2 at one point and did fine at it during that last half of the season after everybody had half a season to develop. This one shorter game of preseason and the no two-a-days in the offseason is hindering development.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And John Robinson says the last few spots for receivers, linebackers in the battle between Greg Bell and Jamar Jefferson. You're leaving out Netflix, who got a guaranteed contract for this year. So, and next year. He got a 2-year guaranteed contract, didn't he?
Yeah, Craig Reynolds is my dark horse.
Yep. So I think he'll be the 3. I think he solidified himself as the 3 because those 3 games he played while Swift was hurt and Williams was hurt for 2 of them was pretty damn good.
And I give him the nod over
Reynolds.
Yes.
Yeah, I give Reynolds the nod over Godwin Iwabuke or whatever the hell his name is.
Godwin Iwabuke could be cut.
I'll take Reynolds. Reynolds had a 100-yard rushing game last year.
He had a 200-yard rushing game damn near. Wasn't it 168 yards in that first game and 2 touchdowns?
No, he runs hard.
I think the
closest wasn't that many yards, but
closest comparison I see with him is Javonte Williams from the Broncos.
It's a good analogy. But, you know, Javonte Williams is a rookie, and you don't know if he'll continue that, whereas Craig Reynolds was a second-year UDFA. We swiped off of someone's practice squad, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Showed out.
I like
showed out in the preseason. made the roster, and then because that's the thing, like, you know, we're all nerds, so we're hyped about the third and fourth and the fifth running backs and the fifth and sixth and seventh wide receivers, but we were all hyped about Craig Reynolds, and then people got hurt and he came in and he did that.
The guy I could see being cut other than Cephas out of that wide receiver room, and I'm going to say it because he was dog shit last year, Trinity Benson.
Yeah.
I just heard something about him, and apparently Holmes isn't worried about
supposedly they said
my dad agrees with me
for him.
Cut it 2K.
I mean, he could take Raymond's spot.
Yeah, they're talking about how he's a 2-year project.
Right.
Well, yeah, I understand. I've read that too, and that came out, and that was just to cover the fact we gave up draft capital for him. I think that's all that was.
So hopefully he does work out.
Yeah, but
he's still young.
He is young. Don't get me wrong, and he's a 4'3" guy, but he's 6 foot tall. He could return kicks, but he hasn't done it yet. He could be a gunner, but hasn't done it yet.
I mean, these guys don't watch out. Pimpleton's going to be the one returning kicks.
That's who I want to see.
I
want to see him.
Lightning.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, dude, I think the guy's what, 5'2", 100 pounds? I mean,
he's 5'11". He's 5'11" and 175. He's an inch taller.
I've seen him listed as short as 5'8".
And I've seen him listed as tall as 6 foot. You can't trust any of those draft prospects. It's like trusting a Ghana birth certificate.
He ain't no 6 foot. I can tell you that.
No, but I'm just saying, I've seen him listed from one to the other. Ooh, getting road noise.
Say road noise?
Yeah, I'm going to have to mute you for a minute, Dom, until I get back to you. There. Yep, that's what it was. Let's see. Real quick, why don't I go ahead and talk about my gracious sponsor? As soon as I get to where the overlay is. There it is. A1 Tire and Auto Repair, 3 locations to serve you. We have the Old Column where they are actually going to start selling quality used cars under TNT Auto Sales. We also have the Broadway location for tires, and we have the Saginaw location for tires, which is actually the one where I work. So stop in and see me. I do good work. We have great prices. Just ask Detroit Dom. Dom, go ahead. Give your testimonial.
True story. Riding on those tires right now. Sorry about the road noise. Detroit freeways, and not even a real one. The Davison.
Worst
shit ever. Oh, now it's good, right? I bet now you don't hear anything.
Right. Now it's good. Did you have your window crack?
No, I was just on the freeway and it's just.
So now we're going to.
You guys are all over there on the east side of the state, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Well, Statman's in Lansing.
Okay, that's not too far from me. I'm just down in Battle Creek.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's not far. I've worked down there.
Over, not down.
I've worked up in Lansing.
Mostly over.
I actually got kicked out of. We got kicked out of East Lansing.
Down from Lansing. Mostly over from me. I'm in Metro Detroit.
Yep. And I am up. I'm up from all of you. Ha. Barely.
Hey,
all right.
You know what? You guys can live over there. My city smells like cereal almost every morning.
Yep, Battle Creek is good because of the Kellogg's plant.
Yep, post plant down there.
Battle Creek used to be better.
Now, Kellogg's is crap.
Battle Creek used to be better when Gibson was around there. The guitar maker.
Oh, yeah. Who's that for?
That gave me a reason to go down there more.
Most of the cities in Michigan are freaking ran down.
Oh, they all are. And one way or another, we're all ran down. Population growth of -3% in Michigan.
Yep.
That being said, hey, everybody, we hit the waiver wire.
Oh, yeah, who's this guy?
DT John Cominsky claimed off the waivers from Atlanta. What made me intrigued is when I heard 8 other teams, including the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals, who are considered to be playoff contending teams, wanted him, and we got him because of our position in the waiver wire due to draft pick. Might not be. He might be. He might be more than a camp body. And who does this put on notice? And I'm going to give you the reason why. The kid in Division II at Charleston actually had 48 tackles for loss in his 4 years starting career. He's a great run stuffer. He's a great run stuffer that actually does get pressure from time to time. Pressure is not what he's known for, but he does get it just because he is one of those guys that can take on double teams and still stop somebody from behind the line. That being said, who would you say this puts on notice? And I named a few of them already, but Nick Williams is already gone, so that's off. I forgot we cut him.
We still got Brockers.
Oh, he did get cut.
Yeah, he got cut at the beginning of the season. Yeah, beginning off season.
Oh, yeah, Williams.
Perfect.
Yeah, I forgot he got cut. You know, there's so many Williams on the team, you can't keep track of which one's where. We got a running back, wide receiver, defensive tackle. At one time, we had a linebacker, and I think there was even a UDFA cornerback named Williams. But that's beside the point.
I think it puts Brockers on notice.
Well,
no.
He's here for his vet leadership. Even if he doesn't play a down, he'll be here, unfortunately. But I did say he would have a worse year than Danny Shelton, and he did.
Yeah, you did say that.
I didn't like
I
didn't like the trade. I sat there, I said, at 33, and somebody who played beside Aaron Donald, I don't see him doing the same thing for Detroit.
So
the linebacker named Williams was Antoine.
Yep.
It was, I don't remember what year, 4 or 5 years back. We had only kept 4 linebackers. Someone else got hurt, so he got thrust into the starting lineup. Then he got hurt. So we literally went to the 4-2-5 because we had no other choice because we didn't have 3 healthy linebackers.
I think all we had was Stephen Right, and I think that's when we had, what was it, Stephen Tulloch and Joe Blow. That was our linebackers.
Hey, you know what? Our linebackers ain't that much better this year.
I'd have to go look. I don't know for sure.
I don't know. Depth-wise,
I was there. It was again.
I'm hoping that Malcolm Rodriguez shows out in the preseason and takes over for Anzalo, and we end up with Rodriguez, Barnes, and Houston switching out at middle linebacker.
Honestly, if Rodriguez is coming in as starting as a 6th-round pick rookie, then we have a lot of problems at that linebacker spot.
Have you looked at his game film?
I know. Oh, no, I watched him play, and he's good, and he's highly intelligent. You know, he's a smart player, and he's a good player. But
Logan,
a 6th-round rookie shouldn't be a starting linebacker his rookie year.
Wouldn't that be a testament as to how good your GM drafts if a 6th-round linebacker can become a starter and actually provide?
Not when your starting middle linebacker posted a PFF grade of like 34. Anzalo's PFF was like he was ranked. His PFF grade was like a 34.
I know he was 3rd from last in the league.
Horrible, absolutely horrible. I mean, the guy missed, I think, a total of 21 tackles last year at a rate of 16%.
He was one of our worst tacklers. I called him Anales because every time he missed a tackle, he screwed the defense.
He tried hard.
Hard or hardly tried, depending on how you want to look at it.
I'm worried about this linebacking core.
He had 4 good games, and none of them were in the games we won.
What?
Logan wants to speak.
All right, about the linebacker core. One particular player that intrigues me a lot, Gerard Davis.
I love the fact we brought him back, and you're right. Dan Campbell did mention him in his opening presser.
Yeah, said that he's a great player. He's just in the wrong position.
I think they're going to move him to outside linebacker. That's just my opinion. I don't think he'll play the middle. I think they're going to use him as a human missile to kill quarterback.
He's an edge player.
Yeah, he's one of the best pass rushers when he's put in the right position.
Yep.
Sure is.
And Daniel F. Williams comes in. Lions linebackers will be okay. Don't worry. It's a new season, and it's going to be fun to watch. Oh, I agree. I already said last year we were paper thin on talent depth. This year, we at least have a novella of depth on the defense. And that means those close games should be able to be won because if your starters go down, you got people that can come in that have more talent than what we had last year.
And I think the experience from Dan Campbell's first season as a head coach, I think that's going to transition into this year, and you're going to see a lot better game management because that's where he failed a lot last year.
You could say the game management was a fail, but I showed you that. Remember that article you were complaining about all the times we went for it on fourth down, even when it was within field goal range. But you have to remember we had the big burrito that couldn't hit a field goal past 31, so I understood it. So
I completely agree. I feel like you have to go for it on fourth down in certain situations, and our previous coaches before him never went for it on fourth down. It seemed like even Jim Caldwell in that playoff game that. The pass interference that got picked up and waived. It was 4th and 1. We were past midfield, and he decided to punt it instead of go for it. That kind of situation, Dan Campbell, he's going to go for it every time.
And it is. This is exactly what I thought. The secondary and the linebackers won't have to cover as long because the pass rush is going to be better. And Dom's back in. There he is.
Yep, I completely agree with that.
The pass rush is definitely going to be better. I'm sorry. I'm expecting.
You must be back on the expressway, Dom. It's really noisy.
Better?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And I agree with Daniel Williams' comment.
I do too.
100%.
We have said how many times that a great pass rush covers up a lot of inequities.
Yep, sure does. Makes it a lot easier for the corners, too.
You look at the year we had our best pass rush. That was 2014-15 season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had a guy that had less than 7 sacks out of the starters.
Yeah.
And wasn't that Ziggy Ansah his rookie year had 7 sacks?
Yeah,
7 or 8.
so.
Willie Young also had like 5.5 or 6 off the bench.
Yeah, but he's off the bench. And Daniel Williams said, yep, and yep.
I completely forgot about that guy.
And let's not remember, with Aiden Hutchinson and the Bears O-line, I expect them to get 10 sacks in those 2 games.
Well, he's going to have his best game.
Right. I hope you're right.
I think his best game comes against Chicago.
Yeah, his best game both times are going to be against Chicago, and Justin Fields is going to look like that one after he couldn't read the defense blitzing.
And Miami. He's going to play his best games are going to be against Chicago and Miami. Both of them have suspect O-lines, and if everything is true, what they're saying coming out of camp, it's going to translate to the field, and we might have the next J.J. Watt on our team right now. We just don't know yet.
That's a lofty goal. I want him to be that. I wanted him to be that. But you know what? I just want him to be better than average and be in the Defensive Rookie of the Year discussion at the end of the season.
I'm calling it right now. He is Defensive Rookie of the Year.
He more than likely could be. But lo and behold, let's say Craftsonville struck gold doing Craftsonville things and Tracy Walker gets it.
Trayvon.
Yeah.
For Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about. But Daniel F. Williams says, can't wait to watch him play. Exciting year. Go Lions.
You know what? That would motivate Hutchinson even more.
Oh, yeah.
If Walker comes out and has 6 sacks in his first 3 games, game on. And
what if Jalen Hurts gets crushed? Who's the backup?
That will be a featured battle when we play them.
Didn't Philly take Carson Strong, or who'd they take in the? Or was it Sam Howell they got out of UDFA? Which one was it?
Oh, Philly didn't get a quarterback, did they?
They got one in UDFAs, not in the draft.
Did they? I'm not sure who they got.
I want to say they did get Howell.
Yeah, it was Howell because Strong went to Washington, right?
Boy, man, Howell fell hard, didn't he?
No, Howell went to
You're putting me
Washington,
on
I
the
thought.
spot right now. I don't have my
Is it Howell to
computer.
Washington? Then Strong went to Philly. One
I
of
don't
them.
know.
I
don't
couldn't
give a fuck
remember.
about where any of those quarterbacks went because they didn't go here.
And the
Right,
guy,
well, it's
Brad
the Titans.
This damn quarterback class was trash. Every
the
single
U-
one of them.
Thank you, Brad Holmes.
hey, the UDFA that I wanted to have brought in is now playing for our Michigan Panthers, Eric Barriere of Eastern Washington University. So I can't wait to see their next game just to see how he does. Because if he balls out, I'm going to tell everybody I told you so.
They cut Shea Patterson.
Yeah, they cut Shea Patterson 3 weeks ago.
Can you
After
blame
the
him?
second
They
game.
got Paxton Lynch and Barriere now.
Yeah.
Can you blame him for cutting Patterson?
Didn't look good, but neither did Paxton.
Paxton looked better than Shea.
Less terrible.
Less terrible, right. He looked better. He had a little better completion percentage. He had one less interception per game.
The best
So,
quarterback
that's an
John
improvement.
Elway ever drafted was Tim Tebow.
Man, if I was one of these USFL teams drafting a quarterback, I'd go and find me some small school quarterback who balled out that nobody wanted.
Eastern
what I would do.
Washington University.
You know,
I
why
streamed
go
it
get a
from the
big-
mountaintops.
Patterson was trash every year at Michigan.
Ask Logan. I talked about Eric Barriere way back in October because he torched the best defense in that Big Sky division in FCS. He had 8 touchdowns in that fucking game with Madden numbers. He threw for 500 yards and rushed for 300 more.
Yeah, it was insane. It was only something you see on Madden. I don't care what division you're playing in or what level of college you're playing in.
Yeah,
That's
800 yards.
amazing.
800 yards.
Yeah.
And 8 touchdowns. That's 56 points due to your arm or your legs.
Some people don't even get that in their entire career, honestly.
Ryan Leaf. Achilles Smith.
Oh man,
Tim-
that's Willis. Willis is Achilles Smith all over again.
Brady Quinn.
Brady Quinn.
He was too
AJ
buff to play quarterback.
AJ
Tim
McCarron.
Couch.
No, Tim Couch actually had 20 touchdowns in his career. He surpassed that. But he had 28 picks.
I mean,
Johnny Manziel.
We all know
14
Peterman's
touchdowns.
the GOAT.
Hey,
Brownsville
Nathan
Brown.
Peterman getting a contract makes him the GOAT.
Oh,
Of-
Jesus. Let's not even talk
of
about
bad
Nathan
picks.
Peterman.
Hey, he could be
I'll
the guy
tell you
that has
what,
to come in for Justin Fields when we play him.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
The real GOAT is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay?
Yes.
He's the real GOAT. The
Get it
smartest
right.
man in football.
Fitzmagic was great as a backup quarterback, but as a starter, he was Fitz-tragic.
Oh, I know. But man, you gotta love the guy though.
John
I
Doe,
mean, he's shorter Nick Foles.
John Doe comes in and makes a bold assessment here. Do you want to make the playoffs or Super Bowl? Take your pick. I'm going to go for Super Bowl, which means we're not making the playoffs this year. And there's a reason I say that. Because the team is not there. We still have holes that we're talking about. If you still have holes where there's question marks, the team is not complete.
Even if by some
I know you hate
miracle-
that, Logan. You hate when I get real like that. But yet, I see in the back of your mind, he goes, God damn it, he's right.
Even if by some miracle, I mean, forget about the Super Bowl. Like, God forbid if we make the playoffs and win a game. Like, let's say we get all the way to the Super Bowl. Like, we aren't better than Cincinnati. We're not better than Buffalo. We're not better than Kansas City. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Just make the playoffs and win a game.
Petrasha's defense is one of 2 defenses to hold Mahomes to no touchdown passes.
That is true. We couldn't do that in the national spotlight.
Honestly,
No, I say we don't go to the playoffs.
Every day.
John Doe's not getting what I'm saying. It says playoffs or Super Bowl, take your pick. I picked the Super Bowl because we're going to get to the playoffs later, not this year.
The playoffs are not out of the question.
Not at all. Super Bowl, yes. Playoffs, no. They can make the playoffs.
This is my bold prediction for the NFC North. The Lions and Vikings are fighting for first spot in the NFC North at the end of the year.
Ooh.
Green Bay is going to be in shambles this year because of the whole Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers deal.
I don't see
Devontae
that.
Adams was like half their offense. I'm sorry, and nobody can prove me wrong on that. He was insane for them.
It's Aaron Rodgers.
But the games that he missed, they still won, and they still played well on offense. That offense didn't really miss much of a beat without him in.
The only time that offense starts to struggle is when one of their two big offensive tackles misses the game.
Didn't they lose a couple offensive linemen?
What's his name?
They lost the backup.
That was 2 years ago.
They lost the backup center to the Bears, who's now their starter.
Bears offense.
What's his name? Got hurt. Buccalardi or whatever, however you say his name.
Bakhtiari.
I think he got hurt last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he missed 2 games, and during those 2 games, the offense struggled, but they still won.
Oh, no. Bakhtiari missed way more games than that.
So he missed.
I thought he came back towards the end of the season, though, because he was there for the playoffs.
Did, but he missed like 6 or 7 or 8 games.
Well, it was in the middle of the season, and they still won, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's Green Bay, and it's this division, and it's Aaron Rodgers.
My prediction. Okay, go ahead.
As long as Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, they're going to win the North.
Nope.
That's accurate.
I hate to say it. I hate it. I don't want to say it. Hell, I don't punch myself in the face.
It's accurate.
But
not anymore.
I don't think without Devontae Adams, I don't think it's going to matter. With or without him,
you won a Super Bowl without Devontae Adams.
Yep.
And it's shittier defense.
Well,
John Doe, I like the fact you agree with him.
Not any better O-line. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like, love it or hate it, Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback in the history of the NFL.
You can have the quarterback in the world, but if you have a good defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau is one of the most famous defensive coordinators to strategize against some of the top quarterbacks in the league. And I think Aaron Glenn is at that level.
He's close.
He's close. He's getting there.
He's got to have the talent on the defense to get it there. That's my point. We don't have that complete team yet. That's why, in a way, I hope we just missed the playoffs at 8 wins.
It's not going to happen.
mean,
if we're missing the playoffs, I'd rather we only win 6 games and we get screwed out of 2 more wins.
Nah. I want to see the Lions kiss their sister, get 8 wins, and just be outside looking in on the playoffs. Be a middling pick. But I'm predicting this now. If Aaron Donald retires, the Rams pick will be better than the Lions pick.
I said that last year. It didn't happen.
But Aaron Donald's already talking about retiring this year.
Well, yeah. He said from the beginning, like, I am going to play 8 years and retire.
And then he was drafted in 2010, so he actually played 12 years.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, who do they have behind him? Who do they have behind Donald?
Well, they don't have Brockers.
No, I can't tell you who's behind him.
Neither can I, because all I watched last year was him being double, triple, and quadruple teamed in games. And that's why that Bengals O-line looked so trash last year in the Rams game. They made sure they were getting to Donald more than anybody, and when everybody else opened up, like Von Miller and everybody else started getting sacks, they stopped focusing on him, and then Aaron Donald came in and sacked Joe Burrow.
That offensive line was trash. They were lucky. The Bengals They were the benefit of the Ravens have being hurt pretty much historically, man. They were down. I think they were plucking running back off the street. Like, hey, can you hold the football?
You know what's
Come
funny
shoot up.
is the Titans were the most hurt team and was the number 1 seed of the AFC. The Lions were the number 2 hurt team behind them with 18 on the IR. Titans had 21.
Until they lost Derrick Henry, it doesn't matter who they lose on that offense. As long as Derrick Henry is healthy, they're going to win games. We haven't seen a running back like him in a long time. I mean, he just runs through everybody.
Maniac Sports comes in and says, I want the Lions to win the North. And if you ask anybody on my panel, it's not that I don't want them to win the North.
Don't we all?
We all want that. But I want
realism.
I want it to be realistic. I want the new linebacker, Malcolm Rodriguez, to do to Aaron Rodgers, Sack City.
I honestly think
we could finish ahead of the Vikings, but unless something goes terribly wrong in Green Bay, we are not finishing in front of them.
It already has happened. Green Bay's done for. They're done running the North. It's going to be the Lions.
I am not going to say that until it happens, because we have said this how many years, and it came down to that last game.
And
it might come down to that last game.
I said it.
What if we're both 10-6?
Years, Jeremy.
What if we're both 10-6 going into that game?
Apparently, this year the NFL respects us, and our chances in the division because we got our last game at Green Bay.
Yep.
That's how we sneak. That's how we sneak into the playoffs because Green Bay won the division.
If Green Bay's won the division, let's say they have 12 wins and they got it locked up and they're guaranteed the 1 seed because there's not that level of team
or
out
the
there.
2 or the 3 if they're locked in. Period.
And Maniac Sports, which I believe that is Tim Becker. Realistically, I have higher expectations for this team and this coaching staff.
Me too.
I do too, but it's year 2 of a rebuild.
Yeah.
Cincinnati was building 2 years when they got Burrow and then drafted Chase. So that was year 3.
They weren't even done. They should. I'm sorry. I still will tell you that drafting Jamar Chase was a mistake. They are lucky that Joe Burrow didn't get his other knee blown out this past season. I mean, dude was sacked relentlessly.
Most sacked quarterback in the NFL.
70 times he was sacked in the season.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have that. You can't have that. Like I said, they benefited from the Ravens being hurt, from the Browns being hurt. They benefited from that. And that's if they come in healthy this year, if both teams are healthy, I don't know about the whole Watson case. I don't know who's going to be the freaking quarterback because he's looking at a suspension. But, I mean, if Watson's the quarterback, they're going to be better than the Bengals. If the Ravens stay healthy, they're going to be better than the Bengals.
Well, if the Browns insider's right and Watson's going to miss 4 games, I don't know if they will be better because the Bengals will start out with all their starters plus the better O-line. Their O-line has crept into the top 10 somehow just by adding Lyle Collins in a center.
I got to say, Bengals defense played tremendously well that got them to that point, too.
Yes.
They did.
I think the Bengals defense is kind of underrated compared to their offense because everybody always thinks Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but realistically,
that offense is just explosive.
Chase was a good pick, and I said this months before. Jeremy knows.
Yeah, we said if Sewell or Slater's not on the board, Chase is the guy I want. Then it was Pitts, and then it was Parsons. In that order.
And I said if Chase goes that early, he better put up better numbers than Jefferson, and he did.
And I told you he would too. As a matter of fact, he had better numbers than Jefferson by week 16.
Yeah, he do ball out. I'll give him that. He still dropped the ball a lot.
In the beginning, he was a drop. He had the dropsies, but it kind of cleaned up, I think, by week 6. Oh, yeah, that was when they played us. And Maniac Sports says, yes, this is Tim Becker.
So,
hey, Tim, would you be interested in being on next week at 8?
Chase had the dropsies in and the first couple weeks.
Yeah, the first 5 weeks. And then when they played us, it went away.
Imagine that. I can't imagine why.
I think Chase was the only number one receiver that truly beat AO.
Yeah. Or Amani had a really good season last year. He had a good year last year. So, and he's only going to get better.
I think a lot of that had to do with Aaron Glenn too, and Aubrey Pleasant.
Did.
Sure did.
Jeremy, remember how hype I was about coming back last year with Aaron?
Yep. And Maniac comes in. Hey, everybody, let's get these likes up for this channel. These guys are really doing good. Great channel, great host. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. And yes, I would love to see you next week if you're interested. I do this podcast every Friday at 8. Usually I have Detroit Dom. This is the first time I've had Logan in. And this is Jake's second time on the show. And I hope to see him more often because it's fun to talk football and get some differing opinions.
Definitely. If you'll have me, I'll be here, man.
Hopefully it's a heated argument between AO and Akuda about who's the number one.
And Tim Becker's in next week, so that's good.
Yeah, Okuda better watch out. That number one spot might get took from him.
I don't think Okuda gets the number one spot. I think AO already earned it. I think Okuda is playing this preseason to win the 3 spot. If not, he'll be the nickel corner.
No. He'll be the number 2. He'll be the number 2.
If he's not playing well, they're going to start him off at the nickel. You watch.
That's
and
true.
The reason why is because he hasn't been developed properly. This is basically like week 13 of his rookie season is all it is going into the season. He's only played 11 games.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a full game in the 11th game. It was like 10 and 2 1/3 quarters.
He was playing very well before he got hurt, though.
He was. He was coming along nicely, and I think Aubrey Pleasant and Aaron Glenn are going to have him ready. I think he's going to make that jump if he can stay healthy. So he's not moving to safety.
Has to.
Don't forget to tune in next week when I cover the AFC East on Wednesday. I already have a Patriots fan confirmed. I'm quite sure that if I don't find one, Dom will join in as the Jets fan.
Yeah, it's Jets.
I don't know any Jets fans.
But
I think
if anybody knows a Bills fan,
I do.
Cool.
I do.
Reach out to them, see if they want to be a part of the show Wednesday, because I'm doing that state of the team in your division is how I'm doing it every week.
I know a couple Dolphins fans.
Bills fan.
So it's Bills, Jets, Pats, and Dolphins in the East, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Craftsonville and Houston is the South.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indy
and Titans.
Yeah.
The Bills will probably win it, but don't sleep on the Patriots.
Nope. But I've got Patriots fans saying they're lucky. They're going to be lucky to get 8 wins this year.
Oh, that's a bunch of malarkey.
No, because they lost some talent and they didn't address it properly in the draft, is what they're saying.
I think they can still win the division.
You think the Pats will still win the division?
They could.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Mac Jones. You know what? Don't sleep on Mac Jones.
Was the least. Why do you think Tom Brady had a walkover to a division title every year?
Right.
AFC least. Tell me one of those teams at any point that was good when Tom Brady was there.
You got to give credit, as much as I hate to say it, while Butt Fumble was in New York, they kept getting in the playoffs ahead of them.
If you try to say Mangini and Sanchez.
He had an easy road, and he had almost a guaranteed 6 wins.
A walk.
I feel like the Dolphins played him the best.
Dolphins always did play New England the hardest.
They did.
But they played everybody else like crap.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they never really amounted to anything or didn't make very many playoffs during that time when Tom Brady was there. The Jets, on the other hand, won the division twice and got into the playoffs twice as second place right behind them until the Bills became relevant again.
I don't know. You think the Dolphins are going to give them a run for their money in the East this year?
Not the way I saw that video with Tua trying to pass to Tyreek Hill.
I mean,
Tyreek Hill run backwards in slow motion to catch that ball. I'm sorry.
I don't think he's the guy. They got questions at the offensive line. They got a new coaching staff in there. They win 5 games.
I got him
One of them is not against
I got him in the 4 to 7 win range is where I got him at.
Dolphins?
Yep.
They'll win 8, maybe 9, I think.
No, I don't think so. That O-line is trash.
And Flores just left. Who's their new coach?
So
the offensive coordinator that didn't call plays in San Francisco.
I was going to say some guy you've barely heard of.
Yeah. I mean,
right. So you got a guy that's never called plays. Wait, hear me out on this. You got a guy that's never called plays as the coach in Miami, a guy that's never called plays as the coach in Chicago, a guy that's never called plays as the coach in Minnesota. All 3 of those teams are going to start out slow with growing pains with the new scheme.
Yeah.
And that is why I have said
Green Bay doesn't have the continuity that we do.
That's why I said in week 3 when we face Minnesota, there's a damn good chance we beat them in their house because they're going through growing pains. It's a new offense and a new defense.
I think, though, Minnesota having Kirk Cousins is going to help them out a lot because he's a veteran quarterback and he's been in the league for a while.
Roger Goodell flexed that game to prime time to make sure Kirk Cousins fails.
Split in
I liked Kirk Cousins.
Split.
He grew up about an hour from me over in Holland. I watched him play for a long time, man. I remember hearing about him in high school, and then you hear about him in the pros. Because heck, I think he's my age, 32.
Here's what I got to say about Kirk Cousins, and this goes all the way back to Washington days. His record in prime time is 2-9.
Oh,
his record in playoffs is 0-3.
You like that, baby?
He played for Washington.
Yeah, but guess what? His only 2 wins was in Washington.
I know.
But wasn't there another quarterback that we know very well that had the same criticism that just won a Super Bowl last year?
Yeah. He needs new scenery.
John Stafford?
Yeah. John Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, but the difference is technically Kirk Cousins has had better completion percentage and less interceptions than Stafford every year and just never amounted to nothing anywhere in prime time or playoffs.
But also better offensive lines, better defense.
Yep.
Their defense hasn't been what Minnesota's defense usually is, though.
Put Matt Stafford.
But that's just the last couple of years.
Put
before that, Cousins been there, 5 years now or 4 years?
Well, I'll say this is his 4th.
Yeah, it's his 4th year. 4 years he's been there. 3 years at least. He's only had a bad defense last year. The year before, they were a middle to above average.
Kirk Cousins got the franchise tag twice. Then he got a guaranteed contract for 3 years. He made almost close to $200 million in 5 years.
Yeah, because remember, he got his contract from the Vikings 2 weeks after Stafford had his record-setting contract. And he broke Stafford's record for a contract. And everybody says, but Stafford's the highest paid quarterback in the league. I was like, no, he's not.
For 2 days.
He was for 2 weeks.
So.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
But hey, guys, I got to hop off here.
All right, Jake.
Dinner, so it was good chatting with you guys. You guys look me up on The Roar on YouTube, The Roar with Jake D. So.
Yep. And don't forget to check out Side Lion Sports and We Are Lions Nation podcast. They've been on a hiatus due to summer and off season, and they're being slackers.
I've heard. Sideline Lion. I've actually been following them for quite a while now, actually.
No, it's a sideline, like sideline, not side lion.
Oh, I've been following around people then. I thought it was sideline.
No, this is sideline sports.
Sideline
They
is-
cover
Okay.
everything.
Gotcha.
They're like Sauce Gardner. They put that shit on everything.
All right, guys. You guys have a good night.
You too,
All right,
Jake.
you too.
Don't forget to check him out. He's good. That being said, Logan, you haven't done this for months, and I want to hear it here for the first time ever. Can you close out my show the same way you closed out the old podcast I was a part of?
Sure will.
Hit it, brother.
Down the field, a charging team that will not yield, and win the blue and silver wave. Stand and cheer the brave. Run,
Rah,
run,
rah,
run,
rah.
go hard, win the game. With honor you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions victory.
Go Lions! All right, for Jake Dilling, the stat man Logan Erickson, and Detroit Dom, I want to say this has been Kneecap Biting with Smokin' Jeremy B on a Fuck the Packers Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next Wednesday when I cover the AFC East.
Fuck the Packers. One pride. Go
One
Lions.
pride. FTP. FTP.